Time for a flick through the weeklies with Paul Harvey from the Heywood Advertiser. Paul, I'm loving this first story of yours. A hairdryer that doesn't make a noise. Oh, yeah, it's like a godsend.
It certainly is. There's this Heywood student, Josh Redford, and he's a student down at Imperial College in London. He's an engineering student, and he was back home in Heywood, and he was trying to get a light in, like any good student, and he hears his mum drying her hair, and it wakes him up, and he thinks, well, and most people woken up by the hairdryer, they would think, well, just try and go back to sleep.
Yeah, what a nuisance.
But he thinks there must be a better way than this, and he decides to invent a new kind of hairdryer that doesn't make any noise.
So how does it heat your hair and dry your hair if it doesn't make any noise? What does it do?
He did explain the science to me, but I didn't really understand it. Apparently it works by radiation heat rather than convection heat.
Like a toaster?
Like a toaster.
Yeah.
Toaster doesn't blow the heat, does it? You put it in and it's like...
Yeah, so it's silent.
So it's essentially like putting a very warm radiator next to your head.
Yeah.
If you're lying...
It sounds a bit dangerous to me.
Blow in the heat.
It does, but I'm sure the people from the Britain's Brightest Idea competition know a good idea when they hear one, and it's been shortlisted, hasn't it?
Yeah, and if he wins, it's going to be made into a little Wallace and Gromit cartoon.
I'd rather it made into a hairdryer.
Yes, exactly, yeah. That's a great thing, though, isn't it? Obviously, he's got that sort of mind to think along those lines. Also, interestingly, it is National Alcohol Awareness Week.
It is.
And quite bravely, you've been keeping a drink diary, sir.
Yeah.
How's it gone?
So how much do you imbibe, old fella?
Well, more than I realised. I mean, it's really interesting. The council are trying to encourage people to keep a drink diary to take stock of how much you drink, and I did it as a feature for the paper, and it really is surprising because
So where were you drinking where you were more surprised than you thought, for example? Is it the amount you drink in the evenings or the large measures you pour yourself up? Where was the surprise?
I'd never understood the unit system properly before. I think that's where a lot of people have,
You think one glass, that's a unit, but however, glasses of wine now are huge, aren't they?
One glass is not one unit.
They really can be.
It certainly
and
isn't.
you're supposed to have, say, 3 to 4 units a day, and I went out for, 3 pints, and that can be up to 8 units.
Really?
That can be double your daily intake. So I did this whole drinks diary, and at the end of the week, I had 35 units.
And your recommended weekly intake is?
About 21.
21 for a man, isn't it?
Yeah, 21 for a man.
So if you do that over 2 weeks and 3 weeks, that incremental increase just mounts up and up and up and up, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. But I rang up a GP to get this analysed, and spoke to the GP in Heywood, and he said to me, 35 is over the recommended amount, but for a young man drinking as much as I do, I'm all right, because apparently...
Now that flies in the face of advice, clearly. You just told me that your recommended allowance is 21, now you're telling me it's all right to drink 35.
I wasn't binge drinking, you see. I had 2 days off during the week, and all my drinking was in the pub. So I wasn't drinking at home, it was all social drinking.
Yeah.
He said for a highly social young person, it was all right. And in a few years, I was going to go out and get a wife, and she'd clip my wings, and then I'd calm down.
Whoa.
He said that.
I think all the anti-drinks campaigners are just... I've got their head in their hands after this.
Well, we do actually have a nurse in later on who will advise us on how many units we should be having and the problems if we do have too many units.
There can be problems, but I'm just writing this down. 21 is the recommended allowance, but Paul says 35 is OK, and he's spoken to a GP.
And also,
just in case Mrs Crane ever had this.
No. You've missed the main bit. It was for a young man. Anyway. Oh, I've upset him now.